Morena from New Zealand all. I'm Chanel, Mind, Body and Soul Coach from Facebook group Sacred Soul Circle. Just in here to do part 2 of steps to understand your anxiety, leading up to my free 5-day journey on how to manage your anxiety. Today I'm doing some common misconceptions and myths about anxiety that I really want to address, because I want people to know how to heal themselves from this anxiety the right way and not the avoidance way, which I did for years. And it's okay, because everything is perfect and everything happens in perfect timing. If you are still in your anxiety, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I'm here. Okay. So with your anxiety, the first thing is that it's yours. You do not need to explain, justify it to anybody, okay? You don't need to. It's none of their business. It's not theirs. It's your life, and so you get to choose what and who you tell or not, okay? So anxiety isn't a real disorder is my first one. Nah, wrong. There are many people out there that believe that anxiety is just a silly problem that people exaggerate. This myth about anxiety could not be further from the truth. Now, like I said in my first video yesterday, we all experience anxiety in our lives to some extent. Now, for these people that struggle to function properly because of their anxiety, it's a very real problem, okay? Medication is the only treatment. Now, while I believe there is a time and a place for this, I've spent more years than I care to remember on them. But at the time, I did not know any better, and like I said, everything is perfect, okay? Now, this is not the only method for handling symptoms, but combining medication with mindset work and individualized therapy methods will help. So for me, that's individualized therapy methods. So that's finding the thing that works for you. So for me personally, it's been my spirituality. It's been finding myself and my place in this cosmic universe. It's been understanding myself, my mind, my body, my soul, and learning self-love and self-acceptance. Like learning that it was life is not done to me, it's done for me, okay? So we are the controller of our life and we have the power to choose, okay? So, our next one is therapy for anxiety should be focused on only the root cause of the disorder. Now, there is truth in this, because we cannot deal with our anxiety unless we are getting to the root of it. But there is no need to sit in a therapy session dragging up every thought, memory, past trauma and crap that has happened in your life. There is no need to sit in that trauma. Okay, yes, we need to feel it to let it go, but we don't need to stay in it, okay? We are not in that now, we are safe, okay? You are safe. So, because it doesn't help us to move forward if we are always sitting in the past. The whole point of the anxiety is to be able to be in the present, okay? And that's a lot where a lot of our depression comes from too, is depression is fear of the past too. So if you have problems with anxiety and depression, then start looking at that. Like, you don't need to be sitting in that past thought, okay? Less stress will cure anxiety. Another big myth, which is really removing stress from your life will completely remove your anxiety. No, we know that's not true, because there's always going to be stresses in our life. But living a less stressful life will of course help you with your symptoms of anxiety. It's not going to get to the root of the problem. It's not going to magically cure your disease. Contrary to belief, anxiety is not caused by stress or worry. Okay, so learning to change your thought patterns can be so powerful. So some common phrases that can be detrimental to our anxiety and not helpful in the moment are things like, just stop worrying. There's nothing to worry about. The good old-fashioned calm down one. Now, you know that we can't actually control our anxiety in the beginning, okay? It is that fight-flight response, that reflex, that brain that we cannot, it's the subconscious brain, right? So that's our right side of the brain, which is responsible for our fight and flight modes. And you know, if you suffer with anxiety, we suffer with fight-flight a lot. Anxiety can easily be brushed off. No, and so anxiety doesn't just impact your cognitive functioning. There are numerous physical and biological symptoms as well. It's the physical fight-flight response, like I said, that the right side of your brain activates when your body perceives a threat. Therefore, we have limited control over it and we don't know how. Okay, so the perceived threat thing. So now that can go just literally from the perceived threat of one person stepping outside. That's their perceived threat. To another person, it could be a lion mountain charging them. Like, I don't know why I got lion mountain. I'm in New Zealand. We don't have them. But it could be that going for that walk and that mountain. So that actual threat, we cannot judge anybody else for their reactions to these threats, okay? This is a response that we cannot control in the moment until we learn to understand and take its power away, okay? So anxiety is just another word for worried. This is another one that's not true, although it is sort of, but it's too simplified. So people often refer to anxiety as being one of the two emotions, stressed or worried. Stress or worry are common symptoms, but they're usually not the only signs present. So other things will be OCD, phobias, social anxiety, hypochondria. Yeah, so to simply say anxiety as being stressed or worried is misguided. And so, yeah, it's not, again, it's not. So simply avoid your trigger is another one. Now, naturally, we want to avoid events, people, or situations that cause us anxiety. Our minds and body will signal us to avoidance or dismiss these thoughts or events as a protective mechanism. And now this is where I said to you there in my video 1, be grateful for your anxiety because it's only trying to protect you, okay? Don't fear it, don't hate it, love it. Send it love. I send my love. I send my anxiety so much love, okay? So to simply avoid your trigger is another one. It's just not going to work. However, this is not a long-term solution, as the longer that we avoid exposure to the stressor, the larger, the more fearful that the situation becomes. While it is uncomfortable or overwhelming to experience the stressor, teaching yourself you can experience it and learn to cope with it is what can help you manage and decrease the anxiety. I'll repeat that again, okay? While it is uncomfortable or overwhelming to experience the stressor, teaching yourself that you can experience it and learn to cope with it is what can help you manage and decrease the anxiety. Okay, and our last one is exercise and healthy eating. And now, although this goes really well and hand in hand with healing from anxiety, mental and physical wellness is a popular movement that has roots in a lot of great intentions, but it will not cure your anxiety. This once again is oversimplified. Exercise does help to increase endorphins and regulate mood, which has an impact on our anxiety ultimately, but it doesn't fully treat the problem. Again, this could be classed as an avoiding tactic, but used hand in hand with those mindset tools, it can be very, very beneficial. So I hope all of these kind of things have helped you, and to know that you are safe in your anxiety. You have the right to be in that, okay? But you don't have to keep being in it, okay? I'm here to help you to bring wisdom and knowledge into your mind, so that your mind can start to shift that stuff, okay? Because you are loved. I love you, and you deserve to live a great life, okay? So I love you all, and I'll see you over in Sacred Soul Circle.